at Galvin, and today we don't have one guest, two guests, we have 5 guests, and they're all students, part of our dual enrollment program with the University of Cincinnati. So the students come to the Midwest Culinary Institute for 2 years and learn all about culinary arts, and then they go on to UC for 2 years, maybe a little bit more, just because we have a cooperative education program, and they learn all about molecular gastronomy, research in food, and we have Megan and Drew with us to start us off. And Megan, we're going to start with
the Caesar foam salad.
Caesar foam salad. So that foam word, that's a new word. It's kind of infiltrated our home cooking. For about 2 years in some of the high-end restaurants, we saw it, right? Yeah. So now we're taking it down to that you can do this at home.
Yeah.
And then Drew, after that, we're going to make
the beef tenderloin with some ginger noodles.
Ginger noodles. So it's not just about changing the structure of foods. It's about influences and flavors. So these are our forefront leaders. So things that you're going to see in the grocery store probably next year or the next year might come from these 2 guys or some students a little bit later on. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Caesar salad. So basic romaine lettuce. So you just washed it. And then we're going to go ahead and, Megan, what we're going to do with it, we're going to trim it down.
Trim it down, chop off the stalk, take the veins out, and just pull it apart and set it aside in the bowl.
Okay, so we can go ahead and start doing it. And that's a skill that Megan learned with me 3 years ago in a Cooking 1 class. So we've come a long way. And that's the beauty of this program, is that it is basically, we take them as a freshman all the way to the seniors, which you are now. So you're going to go ahead and start the vinaigrette.
Right.
So you're going to do a little Vitamix. This is kind of a commercial one, but you can use a home one too.
Definitely.
Okay.
Just going to add the sugar, the salt, and the xanthan gum.
Okay, so now xanthan gum, you kind of threw us for a loop with that one.
That is it's basically made of sugars. What it is, it's a thickener that we use in the industry. I guess it would be considered a technical ingredient.
Okay.
You can find it online and maybe at some specialty stores. We'll have it here in the Tri-State. And it is a all-natural ingredient.
Okay. So you're going to make a basic vinaigrette, which is a 3-to-1 ratio.
Correct.
We will have the recipes for you today at local12.com. Click on the dish. So just as this again, the Cooking 1 rule is that with the vinaigrette, you always start with the vinegar and your seasonings. So it's red wine vinegar.
Yep.
1 whole bottle.
Use a little bit of corn syrup to give it some mouthfeel.
And we were talking about this word a little bit earlier, and the word is, Megan?
Viscosity.
Viscosity. And that's mouthfeel. And you can attribute it to a little bit of a thickness. And so we're looking for a little bit of thickness in the vinaigrette. So you add a Dijon mustard, 2 egg yolks.
2 egg yolks. Yep. Some chopped anchovies.
All right.
And we're going to add some cheese. We're just going to put it all in there at one time.
All right. And what Drew did a little bit earlier is the anchovies, you do buy them in the little can. They're held with oil. You want to make sure you do rinse those. And then feel for some little buns and chop them. So he's going to go ahead and start giving this a whirl.
Mix that, and then we want to add our xanthan gum, and it is an instant. You don't have to cook it; it's just automatically will gel for you.
Okay, so we should see some differences.
You want to make sure that's really smooth.
Okay, so now while he's doing that, getting that going, Megan, you're going to start with the phyllo dough?
Yes.
Okay, so you want to? I'll grab that for you. Okay, so now it's phyllo dough, which you can pick up at Kroger in the frozen food section. The main thing is keep it moist, so she has a little wet towel on top of it. And then what you're going to do is just wring it out.
I'm just going to take it here. Take about 3, 4, 5 sheets. And I have some butter melted over here.
Okay. And then you're going to start
adding the oil.
Okay, so while Megan's doing this, Drew's going to start slowly adding that oil. And would you recommend a extra virgin olive oil for this?
Yeah, we're actually using canola oil, but extra virgin, pretty much any oil will work.
So, just for your information, a canola oil is a more neutral oil. Extra virgin olive oil has a much stronger flavor. So
yes.
Do you think that you'd want the canola?
For this purpose, I think that we would.
Okay.
Typically, extra virgin olive oil is used traditionally, but for us, I think it's going to work better with canola.
Well, because you've got the other flavors in there.
Right,
Might not.
right.
Okay, so he's going to start slowly adding that while Megan's brushing the dough. So what she's done is just taken some butter and melted it and brushing the dough. And then she's folding it, and what she has is a little ring mold that she's going to actually bake the phyllo into to make a little cup. So she's got a sheet pan, pretty hot, 375, 400 degrees. Oh, it's nice.
Just wrap it around.
So you don't need to butter the ring mold?
We actually have
This
foil that holds it in place. It helps it to bake, and
Okay.
it keeps the circular shape in the oven.
Okay. So a lot of this type of cooking is taking things and using them for different purposes. So like taking the foil and making it stabilize that dough in the oven. Okay, so this is about good to go. So what we're going to do now with this vinaigrette, Drew, you're going to put it in a canister,
Yes.
and
You can get these at any specialty store. They're actually for whipped topping, but in our case, we're going to use it to make some foam.
okay, and so what we're going to do is take a nitrogen canister, little canister, and it's going to foam out. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back right now, we're going to show you the phyllo dough, what it looks like, and Drew's going to have some of this foam ready for you, and we're going to Drew and Megan, and we're going to start the
Ginger noodle for the crusted beef.
ginger noodle for crusted beef. So Drew has some little fillets on the stove. What we want to cook those two is rare, so he's really pulling those off right now. And you can see how spongy they are. And Megan, you're starting the ginger.
This is a ginger liquid that's going to be thickened with agar, which is a seaweed-based gelatin.
Okay. And then you're adding.
So I'm just taking some ginger that I chopped up. It's about 9 ounces. So it's about 3 to 4 of the small heads of ginger, peeled, just chopped up, put in the blender. And on top of that goes about 3 ounces of simple syrup, which Drew's going to go ahead and make in there.
So the simple syrup, you're basically dissolving the sugar in the water. So let's talk about this ginger for 1 second. It's the produce section. You pick it up at Kroger. I call the big a hand. So when you said, so you use the fingers. You're saying you use how many fingers? For
They're
this?
about 3 to 4 fingers.
So if you picked up one whole hand, and if you look at ginger, it kind of looks like a hand. So you want to make sure you peel it. And then you can see she's just chopped it, not taking it down real far. Okay, so you have the simple syrup in there.
So we're going to go ahead and blend this because all we really need, we're not going to use any of the ginger pulp. It's going to be more of a flavored liquid that we're going to
Okay.
thicken.
So the main thing with this program too is it's essences, it's flavors, and textures.
Yes.
That's good. So it's probably going to be very aromatic with the ginger. And so, Drew, your foam, you think it's about ready that you can show us real quick?
Okay, and that's all we really need to do.
Okay. And so then she's going to strain it through what's called a chinois. And this is a tool that we use in our kitchens, and this tool's been around for centuries. So it really is, it's taking the old world and influencing it with the new world. It's very aromatic with the gingers. It's probably good for you too.
So we'll go ahead and just press all the liquid out of there as much as you can get.
Okay.
And I'll set that
That's
aside.
good. Here, I'll take that. I'll put it in the sink for you.
Thank you. And to that, I'm just going to add some mirin, which is just sweetened rice wine.
You can find that in the international aisle because I had to look for it one time. You're
Hard
hard to
to
look at.
find.
Yeah, it is. It's with the Chinese.
So here's your agar. It comes in a powdered form, and there's some salt and sugar that's together, and we're going to do what's called plating. When you take something that's a granular form, that's either a gum or a starch, you want to mix it with your other granular ingredients so that it doesn't clump when you put it into liquid.
It's almost very similar to maybe tempering when you take something
Yes.
hot and trying to bring it up to temp. Or, you know
Of
what?
course, and slurry.
So I was going to say a slurry. My mother-in-law has the little shaker when you're making gravy, so it's the same principle. So see, Miss Galvin, you're really ahead of your time. Okay, so we're going to bring that over to the stove. And then Drew has his canister. And so we can see we took a liquid form, and now he has made them more soluble. Looks like little clouds.
That one didn't work.
There you go. Okay, so you can just pour that straight in.
Yes.
Okay.
You want to completely dissolve it and just stir continuously until it comes to a boil, and once it comes to a boil, you can turn it off.
Okay. Do you want to start maybe we'll plate up the salad to show what that's going to look
Sure.
like? So here's the nice little dough cup. Leave it on there till you get it over there. So it's all about presentation too, and then your greens. All right. And then your noodles.
So we actually have some that's already firmed up in the
Okay.
refrigerator that I can pull out.
Okay. I'll keep stirring that for you. So do you need to
just put it in the pan. And the neat thing about agar is that it's one of the only it is the only gelatin that can actually firm up at room temperature. There's no refrigeration needed.
And so now this is it now. Okay. So really a lot of this, would you agree, Drew, is just taking things and moving them to different forms. Taking
Absolutely.
something from a liquid state and like what you're going to do with this.
Right. You're keeping the flavor. It's just a different experience, different texture.
They say, a lot of people say molecular gastronomy is just it's playing with the senses, and you're going to see that a little bit later on when we make a dessert. But it is changing shapes and forms of food.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And so Megan's you can see it's just actually grating that, and that's going to go on the plate.
It goes actually on top of the beef. You can
Okay.
you can just pick it up and place it on top of the beef, and what
Okay.
you get are little noodles.
So I'll bring this over. All right. So you want it offset maybe here or here? Okay. All right. That looks beautiful. So they've done a really nice job. This is a lot of work. This is 4 years of work, what they've just done in 3 minutes.